I'm Sonia, librarian at Stickney-Forest Public Library, and I love that I get to talk about books at my job, so I'm going to do that today for another YouTube video. Today I decided to talk about 3 books that have love as the central theme or as a big part of the book. They're not romance novels, but they're novels that, like I said, a love relationship is a big core of the book. So the first one is called Labor Day by Joyce Maynard, and as you can see, this also became a movie with Kate Winslet. This boy, 13 years old, what would you do if your mom brought home a fugitive and then fell in love with him? That's what happens to 13-year-old Henry. They bring home a fugitive who needs their help. The mom is emotionally fragile. At this time, the husband had left her very kind of depressed. It was a bad situation. She falls in love with the fugitive. Of course, that situation is very precarious. And is he a violent criminal, or is he just a very unlucky guy? He tells his side of the story. You'll have to decide for yourself. Henry thinks he's a good guy. And it's very, of course, the police are looking for him, so it's very suspenseful what's going to happen. So I really enjoyed it. I want to read more by this author, and I haven't yet. If any of you out there have any suggestions for the next book that I should read, because she's written a lot, definitely want to find another one of her books. So that's Labor Day. The next one is called The Rosie Project. Now this one came out also a couple years ago, and it's a very lighthearted, humorous romance because the main character, Don, he's like 39-year-old professor. He's very intelligent, but he's very socially inept. He's very socially awkward. He is kind of like that character on The Big Bang Theory, if you've ever seen that show, which is very funny. There's a character, Sheldon, on there, very much like this character, and this is from his point of view. He's looking for a mate. He has this whole checklist. Actually, he has this whole questionnaire for women that he gives them to see if they're going to be a good mate for him. Yeah, that's not really working out. And then he meets this girl, Rosie, at his university, and he can't understand why he keeps thinking about her, because she obviously would be an unsuitable mate for him. So, but he decides to help her on one of her projects, and he really likes spending time with her. They like spending time together. He doesn't understand why, so things are very confusing for him. But I liked it because of that original voice and the humor, and there's some charming scenes, like when he learns how to dance, and the interactions between them, very, very funny. So if that sounds good, pick this one up. The next book is very different than this last one, the opposite. If any of you graphic novel fans out there are familiar, you probably are familiar with this one. This one is called Blankets by Thompson, and it's a kind of autobiographical, kind of well, graphic novel means like it's all pictures, tells the story. Okay. So it's about his teenage life. He's growing up in a very oppressively religious household, and there's a lot of guilt and a lot of, questioning of religion. In this book, he meets a girl, he falls in love with her, and he draws her really beautifully. He really, he falls in love with her. He meets her at church camp, and he invites her to come stay with him for a while on their vacation. So she comes and stays with his family for a while, and he's so happy with her, his life. He's no longer lonely. He's no longer, well, he's still kind of guilt-ridden, but it's very complicated. There's some religious depictions, I guess I should say. Here's this one that says, "My faith came crumbling down so easily. But as with things like this, he goes back and forth. The end, he kind of, it's not such a bleak ending. It's a very deep book and thought-provoking and heavy. So if you're not in the mood for that kind of thing, I wouldn't suggest you pick this up until you get in the mood for that kind of thing. Maybe you're more in the mood for a very light one, light-hearted, or something in the middle, which is also thought-provoking but not so heavy and deep. So those are my 3 for today, and please put comments in the bottom, and I would love to talk books with you anytime. So call me at the library or leave a comment or email me.
If you enjoyed this video, please like the video and subscribe to the Stickney-Forest View Public Library's YouTube channel. Also, like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The Stickney-Forest View Public Library District, where great things happen.